Hello everybody and welcome back to LMM. And if you're enjoying what you're seeing on the channel at the moment, how about giving this video a like and maybe subscribing to the channel to help us grow, and perhaps even check out our Patreon. Have you ever wanted to do what I get to do? Well, today I'm here at the Foxfield Railway to do something I've never done before. Today I'm doing a driver experience course, which is a way for you guys to get a sample of what it's like doing a lot of what I do, driving a locomotive. And it's more than just driving. For today here at Foxfield, we're going to have a go at driving, firing and being the guard, which is something that I've never done before either. We're also going to go through all of the day, from turning up to the morning sandwich to having some lunch and actually going out on that thing there. And what's particularly exciting is for you guys, you're getting a discount code if you watch this video through to the end, so you can do this very course that I'm doing now for less money. So watch to the end to get that, and with that, it's time to start the day, which isn't going that way because today I don't have to get dirty. Today I go and get breakfast. Having breakfast at a reasonable time at a railway is a rare experience for me, and so this was very much appreciated, and this is just how you guys will be starting the day, because normally I'd be doing this. But instead of that, I'd been instructed to grab myself a mug of tea. And whilst the guys got stuck in with making 4388 of 1926, the Kerr Stuart Witch, look all smart and beautiful, ready for the day's service, I was getting stuck in to eating my breakfast sandwich, which was a great way to start the day and have a chat with the other people who were going to be taking part on the driver experience course. And as the sun broke its way through the morning mist, it looked like we were going to be in for a lovely day. With breakfast finished, the next stage was the briefing, where we were told about the railway, how the day was structured and what we were actually going to be up to. There was a little bit of the required health and safety and how to be safe on the locomotive. And then a tour around the museum with our guide talking about the locomotives and the carriages and filling people in. However, as I'd done this bit before and knew a little bit, I went outside to see the witch move off shed. For those of you who are wondering, this is a full day's experience with overalls and gloves provided, so you won't get your own clothes mucky, although I wouldn't recommend bringing your Sunday best. During the day, participants will get 4 full line runs from Caverswell Road up to Dilhorn Park, and there's so much that's been packed into the 2¼ mile run. There's crossings both public and private where the train has to be brought to a stand before it can cross. There are tight industrial curves that the engine and train have to be eased round, and then there's a genuinely challenging gradient where you really get to hear the engine work on the way up, and on the way down you've got to be on your game to keep the engine speed under control. But you'll see all of that in a moment. By the time the witch had finished running round and arrived in the platform, the other participants had finished their tour of the site and eagerly awaited the locomotive's arrival on the platform. First up, the operating staff had a quick chat to make sure that everybody was on the same page and knew what was happening next. And then the crew were introduced to the people undertaking the footplate experience. And whilst everybody was distracted, I had something to add to the front of the engine. And with the correct headboard now on the locomotive and a roaring fire generating a good head of steam, it was time for the first trip down the line. Typically, the way the experience works is with 4 people taking part. These are split up into 2 teams of 2, and we take it in turns going down the line. The first drive was a trip light engine to get a feel of the locomotive and how it worked without the additional weight of a train. And with the initial orientation and explanation of the controls over, the locomotive headed off. This was not a full line run, it was just enough to get a feel of the regulator, the brakes, and the general experience of being on the footplate. There were 2 trips, so that each member could get a go on the regulator and have a little bit of a drive. Crucially, no experience is needed, whether you've never touched a locomotive before or you've been driving trains down the East Coast main line. The experienced crew will watch over your every move and be there to make sure that you get the best out of your day. And once the participants had got a feel for the locomotive and returned it to the platform, it was my time to hop aboard and go for a trip. As mentioned, normally the crew will go through absolutely everything with somebody doing the experience. However, the driver knew that I'd done this 1 or 2 times before and told me to just get on with it.
Just the route knowledge. But you've been up and down it before.
As you'd expect, the crew were super friendly and knowledgeable, and we had a great laugh as we trundled along the railway. I didn't need too much instruction on how to actually drive the engine, but having somebody to tell me the lay of the railway and where to whistle and where crossings were was hugely important. To me, being on the footplate of a steam locomotive is one of the greatest things that this world has to offer, and I can't recommend it enough to you guys to get yourself behind the controls of a steam locomotive and sample it for yourselves. And there is absolutely nothing to be scared of. You have the crew alongside you at all times to reassure you and to make sure that you're doing everything correctly.
Don't worry, I'll soon tell you to go to Matthew. Shut up now, it's down. Lovely, thank you. Quick 2 for the crossing. No, as we go past that. About now, any time now, yeah.
And with the training runs complete, it was time to go and couple up to the coach, because for everybody who was taking part on the experience, they could have 4 guests coming as standard, or if they wanted to bring more, they could have up to 8 travelling on the train. Food and drink is also provided, and dogs are welcome as well. Of course, your guests don't have to ride on the train. They're free to wander around and just enjoy the station amenities.
Seeing what's inside it doesn't help me understand.
You're right to buffer up to the coach?
Yeah, more than happy to, thank you.
Yeah.
Now, if you do this, the driver probably won't ask you to buffer up to the coaches. But as I'm a driver elsewhere, he said get on with it.
Going on.
Yeah. So steam and water? Yeah, sweet.
It's always nice when a driver at another railway recognises that you're competent and allows you to actually do things. And soon I'd put the locomotive on the train, and having made the engine safe, the driver went in between to couple up. As part of this, he connected up the vacuum hoses so that we'd be able to control the brake on the coach. So having coupled up to the train, I now actually use the guard. The first thing is to take the handbrake off, and you'll see that the red flag has been left on top of the brake. That is a visual reminder to let us know that the handbrake is on. So having taken that off, I can now wind this all the way off, take the brake off, and then I can check the train, and then I can go do the flaggy thing. Once I've checked that all the doors are shut, everyone's on, and we're ready to depart. Which means I need this one. Get ready for the big moment. Not done this before, you see. Always wanted to do that. Notice that I didn't wave the flag. It's a popular misconception that you wave a green flag. What you do is you hold it in the way that I did to give a clear green signal that you're ready to depart. The whistle doesn't give any permission to move. That's just to attract the attention of the driver to say, hey, look at me. And like everything else today, I hadn't done this unsupervised. It was all carried out under the watchful eye of the trained rostered member. In this case, it was the guard, who explained to me the ins and outs of how I was meant to do the duty. Most people don't realise that the driver is not the one who gets to decide when the train will leave. They are merely in charge of the locomotive. The person in charge of the train, and thus can say when it can leave, that is the guard. They are overall responsible for the whole train and everything within it. The driver merely is just in charge of the motive power, the thing which hauls the train, which cannot leave until the guard says so. Whilst I remain a locoman at heart, it can be hugely beneficial to experience other roles and gain a greater understanding of some of the critical roles that are on the railway. I'd never spent any time being a guard, so this was really good to get a better understanding of the role and how important it is, and I quite enjoyed being a guard. I enjoyed going and checking on the passengers to make sure everyone was okay, and I enjoyed just being able to sit back and enjoy the countryside. So often when I come to Foxfield, I'm either filming or I'm on the footplate, so I don't really get a chance to take in the scenery, and it is a really pretty railway. And all too soon we arrived into Dilhorn Park, and as soon as we'd stopped, I put the handbrake on and replaced the red flag over the top to let everybody know that the handbrake was on. Once I'd done that, the locomotive could be uncoupled and run round the train ready for the return trip. And whilst it was doing that, as a guard, I had other duties to attend. The first one was to take the lamp off from one end and walk round to the other end of the train. The lamp at the back marks the end of the train, so everybody knows as that goes through that that is the last vehicle of that train. If a train was to go past without the lamp on the back, that would indicate that there are some wagons or a coach somewhere in the section, and that is a big problem. so having the lamp on the back is a critical safety measure. And once I'd done that and the locomotive had come onto the front of the train, I could address the passengers to let them know that our departure was imminent.
This is the, I don't know what time, express calling at the other end of the line.
Nailed it. And with the handbrake taken off, I gave the green flag for the train to return down the line. And of course, if you don't fancy being a guard, then there's nothing forcing you to do that. You'll just spend an extra trip on the cushions as the train goes up and down, waiting for the other participants to complete their trip on the footplate. And from my point of view, it's always good to try something new and different. You never know, you might enjoy it. And as we arrived back in Cavershall Road, there was one very important thing that we had to do, and that was go and have lunch. It's a real rarity for me during either a day on the footplate or a shooting day to actually stop and have some lunch. So this was brilliant. Not only had I had breakfast, I got lunch too, and it was a superb buffet. This really is a good day out. You get to be on the footplate, you get fed, and you get cups of tea. Frankly, what more could you want in life? Lunch was also a great opportunity to have a chat and a mingle with some of the other volunteers. I also came across something interesting, an almost untouched orange cake, which I decided to take a few slices with me for the next bit of the experience.
Oh my God, what a good portion, lad. Oh.
This is for sharing.
Don't forget to take your coat with you.
I returned to the train with my newfound treasure alongside the guard.
The guard is a man, the man the van the back of the train. The driver up front thinks the guard's a lovely gentleman, and I feel the guard feels the same.
And as we departed on our next trip, I embarked on something that I had never, ever done before. I was going to sit down on the cushions and eat the cake that I had liberated from the cafe. The trains that the driver experienced participants are driving are not open to the public, but you can invite friends and family to come and ride behind you so they can ride on the train that you get to drive. This makes the whole experience a bit more special to know that you're at the head of the train driving your family. And if this is bought as a gift, it makes it a whole family thing to see dad or granddad or grandma or mum actually driving the train. It makes it a shared experience and a nice day out, particularly as the food is put on for everybody. As we made our way up the line, the guide also came along to explain things about the railway, its history and notable landmarks that you can see as you're going along. And for me, it was a lovely and rare opportunity to relax and just enjoy being on a train. Whilst I found the trip up to be nice and relaxing, doing nothing and just enjoying the view, the return trip was quite different because I knew on the next train I was going to be firing, and I was excited to be on the footplate and actually get my hands on the shovel. Because driving is easy. Firing is an art form, and I'm always excited to get the opportunity to fire something. And as we trundled closer to Caverswell Road, I felt my excitement build even more. I'd really enjoyed my first experiences with the Witch when we trundled about a light engine, but now to be able to fire it properly and go out on the run with a train and see what she was capable of, this was the kind of thing that I lived for. And it was so nice to know that there would be somebody watching over my shoulder to be able to support and make sure that I was doing it right. It took all of the stress and worry out of the situation because I knew we were going to be just fine. And it turns out that the technique used for firing the Witch for a full line run is pretty simple. Fill up the firebox with coal. Ensure that you have a level firebed and the thing will do just fine because apparently she steams like a witch. And once I was satisfied that I'd adequately filled the box, we departed for our next run. Firing an engine properly isn't just about bailing coal in and hoping for the best. You've got to give that coal some time to burn through to burn efficiently. This is helped by the regulator being open, which increases the airflow over the coal and allows for more efficient combustion. Once my fire was nice and hot, I could add another round to ensure that we were going to have enough steam to get us up the gradient. Now, if you were doing the experience, the fireman would be watching over your shoulder and helping to instruct where the coal needed to be to make sure there was going to be enough fire generating enough steam to get the Witch up the bank. As I've done this before, the fireman was quite content to leave me to my own devices to build the fire as I saw fit. And as it was his engine, I felt proper chuffed that he was just leaving me to get on with it. With the 30-something tons of a Mark I hanging off the back, the Witch sounded absolutely spectacular as it attacked the bank, and I hoped that I'd put enough fire rocks into the firebox to ensure we had steam to get up this. And it turns out that I'd absolutely nailed it as the Witch stormed its way up the bank without even breaking a sweat. This thing was an absolute joy to fire. You'd have thought with such a small engine it might struggle, but the thing steams amazingly. If you've got that fire hot, it will just go. The Witch steamed so well that I didn't have to touch the fire all the way up to Dilhorn Park, and so I was feeling pretty pleased with myself, especially as I was standing right in front of the owner. And having uncoupled the locomotive, we ran round the train and put it onto the other end of the Mark I. Once we were coupled up, I could rebuild my fire. This didn't need to be anywhere near as big as what I'd had previously, because going all the way back to Caverswell Road was downhill. So this was more a matter of just keeping the fire alight and having enough steam to run the brake and the vacuum. I was pretty confident that I had once again knocked the ball clean out of the park and wouldn't have to open the fire hole doors until we got to the platform at the other end of the line. However, not long after we'd set off on our return journey, it turns out that I'd completely underfired it and had to do a little bit of modification to my fire by rapidly adding a load more fire rocks into the fire itself. And once I'd recovered from my slight faux pas, we carried on. As I have mentioned, I really enjoy firing and getting an opportunity to be on the shovel, but I know that that's not for everybody, and if you're watching this going, I really don't think that's for me, then don't worry, you don't have to have a go on the shovel. It is entirely optional. If you want to get your hands dirty and see what it's like firing a locomotive, that's super, and you can get stuck in and you can have a go. But if you think, I'd rather stay away from the fire and stay a little bit more clean, that's totally fine as well. The experience is designed for you to get the most out of your day on the footplate. They're not going to force you to do anything that you don't actually want to do. And soon we arrive back at Caverswall Road, with me being less than impressed with the fire that I'd left in the box.
It's okay. It's not the best fire I've ever left,
But that was no longer my problem, because the next trip I was going to drive, and I'd been looking forward to this all day, to finally get my hands on the regulator of the tiny little witch and go for a good run up the line.
Love job. Happy and ready? Yep. Grab your green flag, yeah? Yep. Clear yours.
Go on. Range are open, so you'll hear it. There you go.
Okay.
Somewhere between these two crossings,
Just a single.
two good distinct blasts.
Do I drop speed down? Because we got a signal against us.
Fine, just you're aware when we get to the signal.
No,
About 5 up over the crossing.
Right.
There is a speed restriction on it.
I'm so looking forward to this bit. This is where things get exciting, get and go up here. Oh. Doing something like this and going up here is just a smile machine. I don't think you can do this and not grin. This is a cracking little machine.
That's about right there. Leave it at that. You're actually going to accelerate at that when we come off that curve. Alright, that'll be alright.
Right, so we come around here, the gradient slackens off, right?
Yeah, touch more.
Touch more. Because we're
Go on, let's accelerate it.
through the tear zone.
He's got plenty.
It's such a good noise. It's the best thing about coming somewhere like here where you actually get to do something with an engine and make it make noise.
The more you work it, the more that needle stays where it is.
Oh, it just draws. When do you shut off this?
Back now. So you're uphill.
Oh, will it come on its own?
Still uphill, yeah.
I see the stop. I'd rather stop
Fine.
short.
That's fine. Literally, crossing is clear, whistle go.
Cool.
If you can do it without using the brakes, even better.
Fair enough.
As soon as we come to about a stand, like now, go. There you go.
Before we roll back as
Yeah,
well.
that's it. That's how we do it.
then as soon as we come round there, it's dropping back down, isn't it?
Yeah, so now, as we come round the curve, you'll
Yep.
see a strange little triangular
Oh,
symbol.
the European marker, is
Yeah,
it?
basically, when you see that, the line's starting to dip just there.
Right.
So it dips around the last bit of the curve, then climbs back out again.
Yeah, there.
So yeah, so as we get again, more across the top. When we get to the greaser,
Yep.
you start opening up to go round, go back a notch or two.
Cool.
Up to you. Should go round on 2 notches back. Let's quick 2 because there's a footpath crossing. So you're off at 5 now.
Oh.
It's 15.
Do that. Just enjoy it.
Go on, enjoy it. Oil off.
Ah!
There it is again.
Oh, it's just simple fun. I don't think there's anything that's a more pure form of enjoyment than this.
It's not seeing you smile as that starts fun.
It's just such a lovely noise. It's like so many lines though, it's so much more pretty being on the footplate and getting to experience it from the footplate. It's such a... You get to see it and see the whole thing through it, and it's just so much better.
Yeah.
It is lovely. So into the 5 here, yeah?
So you're 5 when you get into the point, really. Yeah.
Oh, I saw the end of the 15 and kind of went...
I tend to go at 15 and then shut off and let it roll up to the point. It usually can't. Can we do the point? So a couple first. Yeah. It's getting head again.
Oh, a bit stopped.
Having had the locomotive uncoupled from the Mark 1, the driver asked if I fancied taking it for the run round, which was an offer that I couldn't refuse.
Clear yours.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There's the point.
So the stop board, do I ignore the stop board?
Yeah, we have permission, we have the authority to pass it there.
Fine. So it's just before we get to the point and fall off.
It's-
For when we're ready for victory.
Somewhere near. I was just going to go here-ish.
Somewhere here-ish, yeah, that's fine.
After bringing the locomotive to a stop, I followed the fireman as he went to set the points. You'll notice that he has the staff in his hand, which physically unlocks the point. The staff is a safety device. Without it, you cannot enter the section. It physically locks several of the points, so a train cannot enter that section without it. And if you have it on the locomotive, you know that you have permission to proceed and that the route is set.
About...
Steady now. Yeah, I did it. That's not exactly where it should be. I was going to say, there's a little short post there. You stop opposite that.
Oh, that's our line. That one there.
Yeah.
That one that I've stopped opposite. The one that I 100% knew that was the plan.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. With my non-existent line knowledge.
With the points reset and the staff back on board the locomotive, it could set back onto the train. And once safe, we could couple back up to the train, ready to begin our return journey.
Right, mind that.
But would you open it up now, or would you just let her coast and
Let it
trundle?
roll.
it's a very different experience. This, like some place you go and you drive one way, it's the same coming the other way. Being here, it's so different because you've had all the excitement going up, and now you've got to try and get some kind of sense of refinement to take the train down the hill without running away or coming to a stop. It's a good day out. It's a
Well, giving everybody a whole round trip.
yeah.
Everybody, and it makes it a day for everybody.
Yeah,
Swapping over.
it's experience. You get to do so much of it.
Shadow the guard, you go in the signal box. We just try a bit of everything.
Yeah, it's a really good, it's a lovely taster for getting in. Do you get many people volunteering off the back of it?
One or two, yeah.
I'm kind of going down for it's about 5-ish from going in.
Yeah. You can let it roll in a little bit because it will slow down as you go around the bend.
Oh, to the curve will bring it out, yeah. It's a really nice line to drive.
Yeah, you have to think about it a little bit.
Yeah, I like that. I'm always amazed, at, however long I've been driving, how much a curve takes out your speed.
Yeah, it's uphill.
I don't want to go silly because then we got to stop at the top, yeah?
Yeah, you got to stop board just before you cross. Same again, stop, whistle, go.
Then it's just after that trees when it's really dropped, yeah?
Yeah. Keep it to about 10, and then there's the 5 in pedestrian going down over the top. You concentrate on the brake, I'll do the whistle.
This feels like a good speed, like you're not going too fast, you feel like you're actually moving.
No, right here, we'll take the run out of you.
Oh yeah, of course, we're going in.
Don't worry about it, fine. You'll be doing a nice 5 by the time we get that signal.
I'll take your word for it. I accept you may be a tad more experienced on this than I am.
I really want to go 6 on of experience.
You got a couple of weeks on me, if that. Well, you never know, you are right.
15 down the bottom straight and shut off at the outer home.
Yeah.
You'll be doing 5 when you get to here.
It's like you know what you're talking about because we are. With loco level with the end, or loco past the end, where it might you'll probably
see the white line on the end.
Yep.
We normally stop with the end of the coach there, but that's on 3 coaches. So it's in now. So
somewhere here. Yeah?
Somewhere here.
We'll put the front of it in line with the white thing.
See if you can stop the buffer being level with that.
Overshot.
I had driven the last train of the day, and once they had uncoupled it from the Mark 1, the locomotive drew forward. However, it wasn't going to go on to shed quite yet. There was still one very important role that it had to play. And that was to be a aesthetically pleasing backdrop, as we were all presented with a certificate to say that we had completed a driver experience at the Foxfield Railway. And we were all also given a little goodie bag. Do you know what? I don't actually have one of these.
You're not?
No, I've never done DriveX before.
Hey, get off with you.
No, I've never done
well,
one.
It's fantastic. Thanks very much for
It's taken 17 years.
Great company today.
It's been so much fun. Thank you.
Thank you so much indeed. Cheers, pal. Thank you. One bag left.
Oh, thank you.
on it. Ah, you can identify the driver. There you go.
With the mementos of the day handed over, we all posed for a group photo in front of the locomotive and listened to the ending speech for the day.
You could have chosen any railway to come and experience this for your wonderful relative, but you chose us, and that means an awful lot to me and the rest of us volunteers here. So thank you on behalf of all the volunteers at the Foxfield Railway for choosing us. It really is appreciated. Thank you. I hope you've had a great day too.
Thank you as well.
And so that brings us to the end of the day. The locomotive has gone away, the train is on its own, and that's it. There's nothing else. You can hear it as it goes. I don't have to dispose, I don't have to get dirty, I don't have to do anything. That's it. And you could do exactly what I've done today and have the same amount of cake. So if you want to do it and you've got to this point of the video, the exclusive code is LMMDrives50, and that will give you 50 quid off doing this very experience, which is well worth it. So come join the Foxfield Railway for a day driving a locomotive and sampling what it is to be part of the guard on one of their driver experience days. A massive great thank you to the Railway, because it has been amazing doing this and I've absolutely loved it. And if you have enjoyed this, how about clicking somewhere over there for the Notty 100 event, or down there for when I came and drove one of the locomotives here. Thanks for watching, guys, and I get to go home clean. 17 years of volunteering, first time I've ever done a driver experience.